Hey, let's go. Monday show, September 11th, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com if you're watching live. Hey, maybe watch it on YouTube. We say hello to everybody watching on that platform as we head towards 50,000 subscribers. Braylon Edwards in New York today. He's going to the Jets and Bills Monday Night Football game. We will talk to Braylon. Top of hour number 2. He's going to hop on with us. In the meantime, the great Tom Mazaway on the big desk. How you doing, Maz?
I'm good, Rye. Pretty good football Sunday yesterday, unless you picked most of the home teams like I did. Wow. Usually the home teams hold serve on opening day. Not this time.
Oh, Maz, look at the record.
I sucked yesterday.
Oh!
I was terrible yesterday. But I live to fight another day.
You absolutely do. 2 games back of Braylon and I, both at 4-3 over the weekend. So if you went with us, Tom Mazaway, you feel pretty good. Maybe you're about even now. 4-3 gets you about even, probably with all the juice.
Yep.
So not a bad start to week 1 of the NFL schedule. Spenny is in with us for a couple of minutes here, guys.
How you doing?
Spenny, what's up, baby?
Oh, I'm feeling good.
Oh,
feeling
good to see you, Spenny.
Fantasy team went crazy.
Oh,
it was beautiful.
man.
Spenny has Tyreek Hill on his team.
I do too.
And Tua.
Man. And
Oh.
Tua. Parker Brown is over here. Parker, where are you?
I'm on the wrong side.
Oh my goodness.
This is weird.
Parker's in the audio booth. So we had a group of shows at Feldman earlier today, and we mix it and match in shows throughout the day. So we'll get Spenny in and out of here as quickly as we can because we know he's got a show to prepare for. Tom Mazaway, it is probably when I woke up yesterday morning on the list of things that I thought I would be talking about first.
Yes.
Other than the NFL, this was not one of them.
No.
But as I'm sure you have all heard by now, unless you're living under a rock, we're going to start with college football today and the situation that's going on at Michigan State University. Coming up in about 25 minutes from now, we'll be joined by Dan Murphy, ESPN staff writer.
He's all over that story.
He is all over that story, all over ESPN.com with everything going on at Michigan State.
It's good we got Spenny here, too. He's an alum.
Absolutely. Here's the deal with Mel Tucker. And if you don't know, let me just catch everybody up. He's been suspended without pay for allegedly sexual harassment. And the complaint was filed by an individual, a vendor of the university, somebody who was a gang rape survivor in her college days.
Yep.
She has taken that trauma and turned it into a business, essentially, in trying to educate student athletes about sexual harassment and about sexual assault. And she goes around the country and has these talks with student athletes to try to educate and prevent. Allegedly, there has been a courtship, essentially.
A friendship for sure
by Mel Tucker, Michigan State's head coach. And the allegation, something that Mel Tucker has not denied, was that there was a phone sex call in which he believes was consensual. She does not. However, look, I'm going to be consistent on this aspect of it. I wasn't there. I wasn't on the call. I don't know anything about the relationship between Mel Tucker and this accuser. I'm not even going to delve into that. This is not a criminal investigation, but there is an investigation underway that is taking place, and people can figure out those details aside. When I heard about this, though, it, at the very least, is where is your head from Mel Tucker? The judgment, even if,
I think we know.
Maz, hypothetical here, total hypothetical situation. Even if he is exactly right, and this is a consensual
relationship.
for lack of a better way to say it.
Or at least phone call.
Even if all of those things are true, excuse me. Even if all those things that he says are true and it's consensual, do you understand the lack of judgment it takes for somebody to hire this person to bring to your university, to speak to your athletes? You're married, to develop a relationship with this, I don't want to say employee, but vendor?
Yeah. They developed an employee friendship together. He hired her to speak on what she's talking about, rape surviving, sexual assault, trying to teach the college athletes and the people around, you don't do these things. This is something you take yourself out of. And he became, from what I understand, he liked her. He became enamored with her. He was telling her all along, look, I'm in a bad relationship. My wife and we're going to divorce soon. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And he took a liking to her. And from what he says, and from what I've read, she kind of took a liking to him, or at least led him on to believe that maybe she might be interested in him. But obviously, he took it way too far for her.
Allegedly.
Yes.
And again, I don't know the details of it. I was not there, and I'm not going to comment on that. An investigation will come out, and that will be decided. But I do believe that Mel Tucker will never coach another game for Michigan State University ever again.
No, he won't.
And I believe this is all just part of a process through the legal system and through Title IX to navigate that. But the problem that I have here is with the university. Excuse me, back up a second. Mel Tucker, again, even if consensual, because of what happened at this specific university, should have known never to have done anything like this.
Never.
So I wanted to make that point very clear. You have to know your surroundings.
We're talking about the Larry Nassar situation that was here involved. Obviously, everyone knows about that. He's spending the rest of his life in prison. And for you to come in and then have a relationship, whatever it is, with this young woman, he crossed the street.
It just had to be off. It just had to be
wrong.
off limits. You have to recognize where you are and what that university and everybody affiliated with that university has been through.
They had the press conference yesterday, if you want to call it that. Alan Haller, the AD, and Teresa Woodruff, the interim president who took over for Luana Simon, who was, of course, the president when Larry Nassar was still the doctor here for Michigan State. They spoke. They only took 3 questions, and they basically said, we heard about something that was going on last April, but we did not know the details until yesterday.
So I don't. That's wrong, Tom. And I'm going to play this for you because I think that is the whole problem here. This is where it all gets jumbled up, and here's the problem that I have with the university. Here's Alan Haller, athletic director at Michigan State. Let's play this for you at yesterday's press conference.
I'm here to provide an update on an active and ongoing investigation. Before I share that update, it's important to know that I'm limited in the information I can share and the questions I can answer because this is an investigation is still ongoing. Upon receiving the reports from the claimant regarding Mel Tucker, MSU's Office of Civil Rights immediately commenced a review of subsequent investigation per university protocol using an outside third-party investigator. I was aware of the report in late December. The external investigator concluded their review and submitted their investigative report on July 25th with a recommendation for a formal hearing, which will occur the week of October 5th. The university's objective has been and remains focused on conducting a fair, thorough, and unbiased investigation and allowing the processes to play out. This includes protecting confidentiality of the claimant and putting in place interim measures. The university's formal conclusion of the investigation will occur once the hearing and final decision processes are complete. I want to emphasize again, this investigation is not complete. Interim measures are something that are constantly evaluated throughout the process based on developments that may have a potential impact on the ongoing investigation. As there have been new developments before the hearing, and with the best interests of everyone, including student athletes and the university community in mind, I have suspended Mel Tucker without pay as an additional interim measure. While the investigation continues, I made this decision with the support of university leadership.
So here's the deal, and here's the problem that I have with the university. And I think at the crux of the issue, here's what the university and everybody needs to get down to the bottom of. What did you know, and when did you know it? Mm-hmm. And yesterday, Alan Haller, Teresa Woodruff did not really address that. Now, Title IX is a federal law. It's a process in which complaints
Are heard.
and a process in which they go through. And if you look at social media yesterday, what was new between yesterday and this report in July? Other than it became public.
Right.
That's the only thing that really became new to me yesterday, was that this was in the USA Today. The accuser, Brenda Tracy, came forward with her story to USA Today, and it became public, and the backlash became too much. Now, people online, if you go with what was going on online, people are like, well, the university didn't know the allegations, the specific allegations, because this has gone through the Title IX process.
I don't think it's allowed.
Here's my thing. That's not what they said in that press conference yesterday. In the press conference yesterday, Alan Haller said he knew of the allegation in December. He then got the report in July. That's what he said. He didn't say. Graham Couch asked him the question of all questions. Pretty much, paraphrasing, what did you know and when did you know it?
Yeah.
What was different between now? What's different between today, Maz, and the report that you got
in July?
And he said, well, there's new developments. But if one of those developments is, I did not know the level of the allegation, we did not know the details of the allegation, Title IX's process does not allow anybody at the university, anybody in the athletic department, to understand the full details of what the allegation was.
Right.
If he says that,
It's done.
I'm good.
Yeah.
You're done. He did not say that. Everybody else is saying that.
Mm-hmm.
The interim president of the university and the athletic director at Michigan State University, neither person were up there and said that. So why would I go with what is being claimed on the internet when I watched this thing twice, and out of the words of out of their mouths, nobody ever said that. Maz, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you momentarily, but I do want to let everybody know that Booner and Broder, we've expanded our daily lineup here at Woodward Sports. Booner and Broder pair up for Woodward nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Two of Detroit's up-and-coming sports personalities. For the hottest takes, the best entertainment, join them Monday through Friday, 8 to 10. Booner and Broder, catch them on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel. So when we come back, we're going to follow up more with this. We'll talk to Dan Murphy from ESPN, staff writer there. He's all over this story. We'll talk to him coming up in about 15 minutes from now. But first, a message from Mark White.
Mark White, when you're looking to buy or sell real estate, flexibility and sales over the process is key. Sellers, would you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason with no penalty? That's exactly what Mark White and Associates offers. It's called the week-by-week Mark White listing agreement. Try Mark White's risk-free minute-to-minute listing agreement today. Looking to buy or sell real estate? Visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. That's 248-290-8242. markwhitesells.com, where flexibility meets success.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer, Academy Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, learning street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Holton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Experience the true meaning of exceptional cannabis products with Dispo Dispensary, with over 12 locations, including their new location that is now open in Whitmore Lake. Dispo is never far away. Join Ermanni and Edwards with Maz and the Woodward Heavyweights broadcasting live at the Whitmore Lake location on Friday, September 15th. 50 North Territorial Road, Whitmore Lake, Michigan. Dispo Dispensary, disposhots.com. It's your local cannabis plug.
Ryan Ermanni, Tom Mazaway, Braylon Edwards will join us at the top of the hour. He's in New York for the Jets and Bills tonight. In New Jersey for the Jets and Bills tonight. Maz is up here. Nobody in the Maz chair at all.
There.
Alyssa's back there as well. Yes. So got to say hi to Alyssa. Wave hi to Alyssa. Everybody, there you go. Good stuff.
Hey, I want to say something before we continue the story.
Please.
I want people to understand and know that we have not forgotten that it's 9/11, and it's 22 years ago that our world changed forever. And, you know, my heart is broke. It'll always be broke. So I just wanted to reach out to everyone that's out there that lost a loved one or had to go through that and go through therapy like I have for a long time after that. And I just wanted to say, you know, God bless America. We'll never forget that day.
No, if you were alive, it's one of those days where you remember what you were wearing, how you were feeling, exactly what you were doing, who you were talking to. Maybe a handful of days over the course of your life where you'll actually remember every detail of that. And, you know, as you do go on, we say never forget.
Yeah.
People do forget,
Not me.
unfortunately. Not you, not us if you were alive. But, you know, college seniors right now weren't even alive at that point. You know, you like that's how
like Pearl Harbor to them.
Right. That's how far exactly. It's like D-Day. It's like Pearl Harbor. It's you forget as it gets away from you. It does become a little further away. And look, this is the first day that an American president is not celebrating the anniversary in New York, Virginia, or Shanksville, Pennsylvania. The president's coming back from a G20. He's making remarks in Alaska today. And, you know, that even that starts to wane a little bit more.
It should never.
I don't disagree with you.
I watched those buildings being built as a young guy. I watched them being built. We went to the observation deck like 2 weeks after it opened. My parents took us, and just never forget, guys. That's all.
I totally agree with that. I'm glad you had mentioned that, Tom Mazaway. Getting back to the Michigan State situation, and again, everybody's talking about Mel Tucker, what's consensual, what's not consensual in the chat. And look, I appreciate that. I just don't feel like that's a part of the story for us today. I think you really look at the university and the way they handled this, Tom, and I know you were pretty disappointed. Thanks, Spenny. You're the man, buddy. And I know you were pretty disappointed by the way that the new president, or the interim president, handled things yesterday.
Teresa Woodward got out there and basically, you know, she spoke for only a couple of minutes and wanted to reiterate to us many times that this is not the old MSU. This is not the old MSU. And she's talking about how the Larry Nassar situation was handled. And obviously, I pray that it will never be handled that way again. And people listen to people when they have a complaint, when they have an issue. Don't just think that they're lying. Don't just think that it can't be true. I know that person. That can't happen. Hey, listen, man, when you're in this business, you hear a lot of things about a lot of athletes and coaches. And, you hear things about coaches and stuff like that. And you hear that maybe this guy, I don't know, wasn't on the straight and narrow the whole damn time. And again, this is all going to come out eventually. But I don't know if Brenda Tracy's complaint about him is going to be the only one when it's all said and done.
Perhaps not. And when it comes to yesterday and what we knew when we knew it, we're going to talk to Dan Murphy from ESPN, staff writer there, who's covered this story, who will be able to shed a lot more light, perhaps, than you and I, Maz. But I think
it's a shame that they can't get out of their own way, Ryan. They can't get out of it. They don't even have a president that has an official job yet. Luana Simon's been gone for 2 years.
Who's in charge at Michigan State? That's another question.
Put Tom Izzo in charge.
Right. Like, who is in charge at Michigan State? The president is an interim president. The board borders on useless. The athletic director, who knows? I think the jury's still out on him.
He's new.
Mel Tucker in year 4. This is out there now. I want to address this Title IX situation. Seems to be really the sticking point. And our good friend Cody Engel, who's never had a nice word to say about anybody in the chat.
Thanks, Cody.
Says, Ryan, you got to really educate yourself on how Title IX works. Your Twitter was beyond embarrassing yesterday. That's what he was trying to say.
Nice.
That is just... People say things and they really don't even know what they're saying.
Correct.
They heard something somewhere from somebody and think it's true.
Look, he was fired yesterday. Everyone said, oh, Mel Tucker has been fired. And then it came out that, well, maybe not.
And that's a process, right?
Yeah.
That's a process. Look, he's never going to coach Michigan State football again. He's going to ultimately be fired. This is just a process that's going to take place. And if I'm wrong on that, I'll apologize. But I don't think I will be.
You're not.
This Title IX situation, guys, there was a press conference yesterday. If the interim president and the athletic director knew nothing of the details, don't you think they would have been screaming that from the mountaintops yesterday? So don't take what some tough guy Twitter lawyer says as gospel. Oh, the title. Until they were there.
Dan will tell us. Dan Murphy will tell us.
And Alan Haller had the opportunity to say that yesterday, the athletic director at Michigan State University.
Right.
He had the opportunity to say, what's new, Graham, because it was Graham Couch that, hey, Parker, it was Graham Couch. I just didn't want poor Tom up here to be on the screen by himself looking at me like he's crazy. Graham Couch asked the question yesterday, and why only 3 questions? You're the new MSU, and you cut it off at 3 questions? What is more pressing for you to do right then than to sit there and to speak to your alumni, your student body?
I don't think they were ready. Then
don't call the press conference.
They probably shouldn't have.
Then don't call the press conference.
They probably shouldn't have.
Because that alone, that in and of itself was embarrassing.
Yep.
That you call a press conference, you make a statement, and then you take 3 questions. Maybe one of them was a plant question because
of course.
Nobody cares at that point on that day about Harlan Barnett and Mark D'Antonio.
I didn't mind hearing that.
That's not the first question you ask
that's
in a
not
press
the first
conference
question.
like that.
No, it's not the first.
That's maybe the last question after a 20 or 30 minute session.
By the way, Mark D'Antonio?
Great. I think that's great that he's back.
Good for you.
But again, the Title IX situation, the athletic director himself yesterday, he said he knew about it in December. He said he got the report in July. I'll go with that. And we'll talk to Dan Murphy coming up. But I'll go with what Alan Haller told me yesterday.
That's all you have to go on.
That's all I have to go on.
Other than that, we're hearing hearsay. We're hearing people say, oh, well, he should have said this. And this is, in reality, what Title IX, I'll probably get Dan Lust on one of these days, and he can probably tell us exactly. That's our lawyer to the stars. Should have probably booked him as well. But we'll find out from Dan Murphy exactly what's going down, how it's going to happen. And supposedly, what is it, first
5th.
week of October,
October
the 5th?
5th.
Well, what happens then? They go to, is it in court? What happens then?
Well, there's a hearing. It's not a criminal hearing. There's just a hearing.
Okay.
It's not criminal in nature.
Now, here's what I sent this guy. I sent this to you guys. This is when I found out that, I forgot who wrote it, but supposedly Mel Tucker reached out to Brenda Tracy for a settlement. And she said, take a hike, basically. Now, I could say he just wanted to get it over with. Everyone could say, hey, he just wanted to get it over with and move on. But to me, that just didn't sit right with me, that right away he wants to do a settlement. If you're not guilty of something, why are you going to go for a settlement?
I disagree with you on that, because
Okay.
I think a lot of people settle to just stay
Get it over
quiet,
with, like
stay
Deshaun
quiet.
Watson.
Right? Stay quiet. Like
I understand, but
if
this is different.
If you're a married man, a lot of times maybe you would keep that to yourself,
Yeah.
or want to pay somebody off for their silence of any affair. Let's say, even, you know what I mean?
No, that's a fact.
A lot of rich people do
That's
that.
a fact. Yeah,
a lot of rich people do that.
I get it, and he
Yeah.
is rich.
Right. Yeah.
He was rich. There is a clause in that contract for bad behavior, and I think this falls under it.
And I think the university feels like it falls under it too.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one expensive phone call,
Yep.
man.
I think it's going to cost him about $75 million.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
When it's all said and done, that is just incredible. Guys, we're going to talk to Dan Murphy about this situation, the latest. What is the Title IX rules?
The stipulations and all?
Did they apply to Michigan State University? If true, why didn't Alan Haller say that yesterday when he was asked point blank about that? We'll talk to Dan Murphy. We'll do that next, and then we'll get into NFL. Lots to discuss. An incredible weekend.
There was NFL?
Games kind of sucked a little bit yesterday, but
they sucked.
Yeah, they did. No better way to call it.
They sucked.
And I've got a theory on that.
Okay.
But first, a message from Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. We are here to help you build a long-lasting, active lifestyle at Planet Fitness. You will experience a squeaky clean gym that has a ton of equipment and a full-body workout in just 30 minutes in the 30-minute cycle. And all memberships include fitness training. You can get all that just for $10 a month. And yes, $10 a month. It is Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
At work
Kool-Aid,
and
what's
at
up,
home,
baby?
we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports. Woodward and Main Street. The Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Hey guys, how'd you like to see famous athletes like Jim Harbaugh, Darren McCarty, and Braylon Edwards play golf with average Joes? Well, thanks to Randy Wise Automotive and Woodward Sports, you'll be able to do just that. It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Make the wise choice and pay attention to Woodward Sports for more info coming up.
All right, gang. Welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. Kool-Aid in the house. How you doing, Brandon? Good, buddy. Very good. Yeah, it's all good. Just wanted to say hello to you.
Check,
in the
check,
house.
check.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey.
How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. Glad to be here with you guys, man. You legends. Maz, what up, though, man?
What up there, B? It's good to have you.
Hey, Parker, how you doing, brother?
All right, very good.
I'm talking with Dan Murphy right now.
Okay.
So give me a second.
Okay.
All right.
Very
we'll get
good.
him on there. He's seen the blue screen of death, but we will get him through this.
Absolutely. So we'll talk to Dan Murphy momentarily. And again, the situation at Michigan State, where do they go from here? As far as football is concerned, Harlan Barnett is going to be the interim head coach, and Mark D'Antonio is coming back. He is expected to be in East Lansing today. And he is going to help Harlan Barnett. The role was yet to be determined for Mark D'Antonio, but I think that's a pretty good asset. And from what I'm hearing is that the team was very happy that Mark D'Antonio was coming back, and he's been. I don't think anybody on the team even was around when
Probably
Mark
not.
D'Antonio was there.
Probably
Maybe there's
not.
a fifth-year.
There might be some recruits there that he had chatted with.
Had a hand in, but other than that. I don't think they've been around for Mark D'Antonio, but we'll see where this football team goes from here.
They get Washington on Saturday. I know that's a minor detail right now. I'll be at that game, but that's a tough team to go play against. And now you don't have your head coach, the guy that's been guiding you through up to this point. Hopefully Harlan Barnett will pull a Bobby Williams and maybe pull some magic out for a while.
Yeah, maybe you just play a little loose and you just do some things you wouldn't normally do, and you try to go out there and compete and win a football game. This thing's been going on. When I first read that USA Today column and realized that this was April of 2022 that this happened. Then in December, Alan Haller said he heard of the allegation, and then in July he got the report, which called for a hearing in October. October 5th is the hearing date. I thought to myself, damn, that is one hell of a weight to carry around with you over your head for that long, not knowing if this is the day that everything is going to come out.
That's terrible.
And it might answer Mel Tucker has had a rough year and a half, really.
Yeah, he has.
And I think this allegation aside, this situation aside, I think there were plenty of questions on whether or not this was going to be Mel Tucker's final year as head coach of Michigan State anyway, without this stuff. I just don't think he could afford another 5-7 season. Then you add this on top of it. Guys, we do have him now. Let's get right to the line now and bring in Dan Murphy from ESPN, staff writer there who's covered this story, all over this story. Dan, on a list of things you wake up and read in the morning yesterday, that was not one of them for me. Just the shock, first and foremost, of the allegation against Mel Tucker yesterday. What did you make of this as a whole?
Yeah, this is some understanding might be, ended up writing about it late Saturday night, but it was certainly surprising, and I think that the nature of this case, one that raises a lot of eyebrows.
Hey Dan, the question for me is more with the university and how they've handled this. I mean, because at this specific university, you'd feel like at least you want the process and everything to go the way it should be. Yesterday, Alan Haller said he heard about the allegation in December. He got the report, the independent report, in July. Why yesterday? What was the reason that the suspension came down yesterday and not in July, let's say?
There was a lot of confusion after yesterday's press conference about what Alan Haller and the rest of the MSU administration knew and when. And just to clarify, they learned that there was a complaint about Mel Tucker as of last December. They learned in July that complaint had reached the end of its investigative stage. According to Michigan State's spokesperson and other people that I've talked to in the past 24 hours, what they didn't explain clearly last night was that they didn't know any of the details of the complaint, including who the complainant was or that Mel Tucker had admitted to having a sexual encounter over the phone and said, his story, of course, that it's consensual, that he had at least agreed that, those facts were true. They didn't learn that until they read about it in the newspaper on Sunday morning or around that time. And so that was when Alan Haller mentioned having new information on Sunday that led to their decision. Because of the way that these processes are set up in the Title IX world, the direct boss of somebody who's been accused of a sexual assault or sexual misconduct violation is intentionally withheld, so that, in this case, right, if Alan Haller knew what the complaint was about and who was involved, there is a potential that somebody in that position would use that information to intimidate a witness or to kind of change the outcome of an investigation. So they intentionally set this up so somebody in Haller's position and somebody in the university president's position doesn't know the details of one of these cases until it's fully resolved, which this case is still open. But because they learned about things through the stories reported over the weekend, they had some new information, namely that Tucker had admitted that this happened, right? That parts of this were no longer in dispute. And I think that's the new information they refer to as why they decided to suspend him without pay this weekend.
How in the living hell do they leave that out of a press conference then yesterday?
It's a good question. I think these are complicated processes. I'm trying to give them the best benefit of the doubt here. They are doing their best to try to respect the confidentiality of everybody involved in the process, both complainants and the coach. And I think because of that, they were probably pretty tight-lipped. They didn't take many questions, right? Last night there was a very brief press conference. They took 3 questions that seemed to be from predetermined reporters of who was going to get to ask a question, and then they hustled out the door without any follow-ups. And unfortunately, I think some of the lack of clarity came from how brief that was, and there was no opportunity for us to ask questions to make that more clear until a few hours later when we were able to follow up with some spokespeople that work for the university.
Talking to Dan Murphy, staff writer for ESPN, great stuff on ESPN.com. And again, that doesn't feel, Dan, the interim president yesterday said this was, Teresa Woodruff said this is a new MSU. That doesn't feel like a new MSU to come in, not really state the facts out in front of the public, and then take 3 questions and scurry off. Do you think that was... well, what do you make of that to begin with? Just that 3 questions?
Yeah, the lack of transparency was a little bit frustrating from a reporter's seat. I think they're doing their best to try not to let this open case get played out too much in the public. I think that's their reasoning behind that. I don't know that it's the best approach, but you mentioned sort of the new MSU versus the old MSU, and there were a couple of things yesterday that raised those questions. And we should say that even though Alan Haller didn't have the full details, or none of the MSU administration had full details, there was nothing stopping him or anybody else from suspending Tucker just on the knowledge that he's under investigation for an alleged sexual misconduct violation. That alone, if you've got the most powerful and richest man at Michigan State who's under investigation for that, there's an argument to be made for suspending him immediately, even if you don't have the exact details of what happened here. And then, the last bit that I think is worth mentioning is they talked about not being the old MSU, and yet their first call was to bring back the old football coach who left 4 years ago under, amid some unanswered questions about his own reactions to some sexual misconduct issues that happened with the program while he was there. And so that doesn't exactly scream that they're totally turning the page on some of the issues they've had in the past.
Hey, Dan, forgive me. I just want to make sure I get my facts straight. Did Alan Haller know that Mel Tucker was just under investigation for something, or that he was under investigation for something that was sexual in nature?
I believe he would have known that the complaint was filed as what's called their relationship violence and sexual misconduct policy. Yeah. So he knew that it was somewhat sexual in nature, and he knew that it was from a third party that worked with the university, right? He would have known not who Brenda Tracy, the complainant, is or her name, but he would have known somewhat the nature that it wasn't a direct employee, but it was somebody who worked with the school.
Dan, what happens next come October the 5th? What happens then, and what did he do after that? What's the next steps?
Yeah, so the investigator, who was an outside investigator hired to look into this, has completed her work, and she's recommended that the Title IX office should hold a hearing. And this isn't a criminal proceeding, and so this is a somewhat imperfect analogy, but essentially the discovery is over, and the trial will be held on October 5th and October 6th, I think, were the dates that they gave. And after that, then the person who's presiding over that was usually somebody from the university. Will make a decision, and I don't know. They didn't say, they didn't answer questions yesterday on whether if Mel Tucker is found to have violated the policy. They didn't say for sure that he'd be fired or for sure that they would react one way or the other. So we'll have to wait and see what gets determined at that hearing, and then decide what Alan Haller and the rest of the university leadership want to do as a result of. It's worth noting that one more thing worth noting is this happens to fall in Michigan Week. This is 72 days investigation ending and the date of the hearing. Those are numbers worth questioning of why this process takes so long. The policy Michigan State has stated online is that from start to finish, these policies should typically take between 90 and 150 days. And again, this was filed last December, right? So we're going on close to 10 or 11 months before this is going to be fully resolved. And they haven't really answered questions as to why this case is taking so much longer than a typical one.
Hey, when Mel Tucker was brought in for Michigan State, they gave him the richest contract for a coach at that point. And there are stipulations in his contract. Do you think that he has violated those? Do they get out of paying him all this money? And do you think he'll ever coach Michigan State again?
It's a good question. I certainly don't know everybody in those positions to make those decisions well enough to know whether or not he'll coach again. He has a clause in his contract that discusses moral turpitude, which is basically a lawyer's way of saying don't embarrass us. And so I think if he's found to have violated these policies, a lawyer from Michigan State would certainly argue that they have cause to fire him without having to pay. I think it's $70+ million left on his contract at this point, and I'm sure Mel Tucker has a lawyer who will argue that. And that's something that will probably take years to sort out and a lot of dollars to figure out what they owe him and sort of what their responsibility is there based on that contract.
It feels like a big mess, Dan. Feels like a big mess. Really appreciate your reporting. Really appreciate you hopping on with us. And we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, thank you.
You got it. Follow Dan on Twitter at Dan Murphy ESPN. Really following this story really well, and you get the up to date and the latest information right there from Dan.
Do you think he's coaching again?
Never.
Right.
Never. Let me read this and then I'll just respond to that. Want the latest information on the Lions? The Lions Insiders have you covered. Shows twice a week. Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and the legend Terry Foster bring you the latest news and breakdowns Tuesday mornings from 7 to 8. Sunday mornings from 8 to 9. Lions Insiders Show, your first stop for game day. Check them out on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. One of the things about that is if you followed the college game, so the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma, his father-in-law is Art Briles.
That's Venable.
No, that's the head coach.
Okay.
The head coach is Venable.
Okay.
The offensive coordinator at Oklahoma, his name escapes me.
Yes.
His father-in-law is Art Briles.
Formerly of Baylor.
Who his players.
Oh, yeah.
His players, sexual assault, gang rape, all this stuff. And Art Briles kind of sat. Now, Art Briles wasn't accused of doing anything. He just didn't report it or something along these lines. He was on the field after Oklahoma's win this week with his son-in-law, and boy, they were getting killed because he was even on the field.
Correct.
Mel Tucker probably is never coaching again.
Yeah, I can't see how he survives this.
And again, I don't know how to.
You're coaching young men, and I know these are college kids.
Yeah.
These aren't pee-wee football players. I mean, these kids, they know what's going on. The thing is, I just can't see this phone sex thing. I don't think it could ever go away. I mean, can you see a kid, laughing at him for that? I could just see it. And I know he's not the only man or woman that has had phone sex. It's It's everywhere.
Look, I'm just not even going to. I'm not even going to say the phrase of Michigan State, but since Mel Tucker has come to Michigan State, there has been a saying, and now you can't. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to do that. But you can't get away from that now.
No. It's in so many different ways.
Like the amount of text messages and jokes and everything that I have got from that phrase that Michigan State uses, that has been Michigan State's rallying cry.
And what do they call Spartan Stadium? What does he call Spartan Stadium? I don't even want to go there either. But it's there. It's there.
Can't do it.
You can't escape it.
So
those signs are coming down.
I just don't know how you walk in a potential recruit's house. All the jokes are. I got 50 of them on my phone right now.
Easy.
50 of them from people in almost every state that I know people in.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on? Did you go? What? You know,
yeah, I know. What's Tuck doing?
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly.
Guys, we are going to talk to Ermanni and Edwards coming up at top of the hour. Ermanni will join us from New York, talking about the Jets. From Jersey, talking about the Jets, the New Jersey Jets, and the Buffalo Bills. We'll talk to him top of the hour and get his take on this as well. But next, we'll go around the NFL. Baby.
Do we have to?
Yes, we do. We'll go around the NFL. But first, a message from SMA. We'll get you up there momentarily there, big guy.
Got it?
There you go.
The sports marketing agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their podcast, This is the S Word, helps fight the stigma about seeking help. If you or someone you know is struggling, head to thesportsma.com, thesportsma.com. Sports SMA, they're looking out for you.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
How would you like to win a $100,000 Vegas getaway? Take your closest friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Cintron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter to win that $100,000 Vegas getaway at drinkcintron.com/Vegas and buy your Cintron at your local Meijer. Cintron, the healthier energy drink with the great taste, and it's for the people who desire to look good, feel great, and be the best version of themselves. That website's drinkcintron.com/Vegas.
Guys, it was week 1 of the NFL season yesterday. It was just so great to have the NFL on. But my goodness, Maz, that was some of the worst week 1 play I have seen in quite some time. And I think there's an easy reason for it. Nobody plays anymore in the preseason.
That's good point.
Nobody plays anymore. They are not ready to play football. Braylon talks about it all the time. When he played, the 2-a-days and the 3-a-days, and you're hitting and you're pounding and you're doing this, you're doing that, you're ready to play. These guys are not ready to play week 1, and they might not even be able to ready to play week 2 either. They just don't hit anymore. They don't play football anymore.
Kind of cheapens the game a little bit. I feel a little cheated yesterday. It was usually there's a couple, 2-3 good games going down to the wire. That was okay. But none of these games, except maybe the Miami and San Diego, well, now L.A. Chargers game, that was amazing. That's a game I would not have minded watching. But the Green Bay Packers against the Bears look pathetic.
Bears look
absolutely
awful.
pathetic.
I'm trying to figure out if that game was more about how bad Chicago was or if Jordan Love in Green Bay could do something this year.
They're both. I think it's both.
Yeah.
Both can be true, as Neil Rule always says.
Yeah,
And the early games, you had Pittsburgh, who was at home. And I love the Niners. You know, they're one of my teams. I got them going to the Super Bowl. But they ran all over Pittsburgh, who you and Braylon kind of like.
Well, yeah. I mean, I like the way Pittsburgh ended their season last year. I like Mike Tomlin. I like the fact that Kenny Pickett's in year 2, although they just don't look good at all.
They look pathetic.
Yeah.
And then you have the Bengals, who Joe Burrow had 1 week of practice because of his calf injury, and he looked like it. And Cleveland looks for real.
They were one of my teams
Myles
this year.
Garrett played like Superman.
Well, you know why?
No.
Don't bury the lead on why Cleveland's good and why Cleveland's got a good defense.
Oh, Jim Schwartz.
Jimmy Football
May the
is back.
Schwartz be with you.
Jimmy Football is back.
You know, I love Jimmy Handshake.
Oh,
I
there
love
he
him.
is. Look at that.
I don't know why this guy has not gotten another head coaching position. He was one of my favorite Lion coaches. He was.
Well, he had an attitude. Other than he ironed his pants, I didn't care for that too much. He got his pants ironed.
What's wrong with ironing your pants?
I don't know. It just rubbed me the wrong way, but maybe he's grown.
Now, he didn't have a lot of suits. Remember when he first came out for his
Yeah.
press conference? He was like, I had to go out and buy a suit. I don't own suits.
Ari Mayrov, Joe Burrow had a career low 82 passing yards and a career worst 52.2 passer rating. He was sacked twice. And there's the smile from Jim Schwartz. Pretty darn good showing from Jim Schwartz. And again, he had that Philadelphia defense. He was a defensive coordinator.
Won a Super Bowl with them.
When they won the Super Bowl. That's absolutely right.
Let's go around the NFL, shall we?
We shall.
Let's start
but
with,
first,
let's start first.
no.
Yeah.
You go. I got nothing this
Let's
block.
start with the Baltimore Ravens, a team that Braylon loves and likes them to win the Super Bowl. They didn't look great, and they pounded the Texans. The final score yesterday, 25-9. Do you know that is the first ever final score of 25-9 in NFL history?
Really?
Yes. Well,
Of
think
all
about
the
it.
games.
Think about that.
It's a tough score.
25-9. Scorigami. You got to follow Scorigami on Twitter. That is the first ever 25-9 score. Lamar Jackson he didn't look good.
He
didn't
fine.
look good. But 2 big injuries. J.K. Dobbins,
This poor
guy,
bastard.
This poor bastard. Out for the year. He blows what's his Achilles?
Yeah.
And then
Terrible.
on defense, their top cornerback, Marcus Williams, out for the year. Marcus Williams.
Oh.
He's got a torn MCL and a torn ACL. He is done for the year, which is that's not what he had, but he's out for the year.
Dobbins' career got to be over, probably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's he played?
played
8 games
played
in 3 years.
2.5 years. You know, he's injured for 2.5 years, and at the running back position, you feel like running backs are a little bit of a dime a dozen these days. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Unless you get a top 10 guy.
Unless
and
you
then
get a Bijan Robinson,
yeah, right.
where I was going to go
well,
next.
yeah, top 10 guy.
Atlanta 24, Carolina 10. This was a 7-point game until about 2 minutes to go in that game. Atlanta finally puts it away. Bijan, 83 total yards. Bryce Young.
He looks
touchdown.
really good, Bijan Robinson.
2 interceptions for Bryce Young. Now he throws his first touchdown pass to Hunter Henry. What does Hunter Henry do?
Didn't give it back.
He threw it in the stands.
What's he thinking, Maz?
He's not thinking.
He wasn't thinking.
So now they got to pay to get that ball back.
Did they get it back, do you know?
I don't know. It was in Atlanta. Do you think an Atlanta person? I think Atlanta guy would give it back to Bryce Young.
I would think maybe he wouldn't.
Well, we'll find out if they did or not.
Atlanta. Do you like them this year?
I like Atlanta. Look at last year, how many close games they were in.
Yeah.
They just could not get the win. We'll see how they go this year. That's a division now that we all thought was absolute garbage. Yet, Atlanta looked pretty good. The Saints looked decent.
They looked okay.
Tampa Bay looked terrific, but they played Minnesota. We'll tell you about that in a second. So, those three teams, maybe they'll fight it out.
Steve Brown in the chat is saying they did get the ball back.
They did.
Okay.
Good for Bryce Young.
Good for Bryce Young.
He gets the ball back. All right, Cleveland 24, Cincinnati 3, 2 touchdowns for Deshaun Watson, 106 yards for Nick Chubb, and you already talked about Joe Burrow, 82 yards just 3 days after he signs the most lucrative contract in NFL history.
Look,
I blame that on he was not ready for that game yet. He probably shouldn't even have played.
I agree. But Cleveland, to me, again, look, this guy makes $230 million. Before he left football or was suspended or whatever the case may be, he was a top 4 quarterback in the game. Now, he wasn't great yesterday. In fact, he wasn't all that
he was
good at all.
He was running for his life.
But he got the win. But he got the win, and they put up 24 points. So you give them credit on the field. They're 1-0 against a division opponent.
And
so
a great
we'll see where
division
this
opponent.
goes. Yeah.
All right, moving on. San Francisco throttled Pittsburgh 30-7. Brock Purdy, 2 touchdowns to Brandon Ayuk. Drake Jackson, 3 sacks for the Niners. The Steelers look really bad. Washington had to score late.
Can I just make a point about San Francisco? San Francisco, to me, looks by far and away the best team in the NFC. What
have I told you?
They are stacked.
Yeah.
And you don't want to play them at all.
You just don't believe in Purdy.
I don't, but he's
a winner.
He's making it hard not to. I mean, these guys are so wide open. Ayuk in the end zone. It's like, do you want to cover this person?
They're missing Cam Sutton.
Oh, my gosh. It was incredible.
Niners are good, man. On the road. Tough place to play.
And Christian McCaffrey is he just is so good.
He is. He's perfect for that
so
team.
So good.
Kyle Shanahan is lucky to have him and knows it as well. So San Francisco with the win. Washington had to come back late to beat Arizona 20-16. Sam Howell had a touchdown. He was sacked 6 times.
They're another dark horse team for me, the Washington football team. I really look out for Washington.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they played like crap yesterday.
They're decent.
But they played pretty good.
First win in the Josh Harris era.
We're going to get back into the NFL. We haven't even scratched the surface with the NFL guys. But coming up next, we will talk to Braylon Edwards.
Yes.
He is live in New York City, or New Jersey, as Maz says. For the Jets and Bills tonight, we'll get his take on the weekend. We'll get his take on Mel Tucker. We'll get his take on the Jets and the Bills, who he likes tonight. But first, a message from Glorious. Come on.
There we go. Just in time for football season, Glorious Cannabis is dropping a new ice water bubble hash infused pre-roll called Honolulu Blue. It smells so good. It's like the first whiff of the first playoff victory in 31 years for the Lions. It's gassy, aggressive strain named in honor of Detroit football. If you haven't had one of these ice water pre-rolls, you are missing out. Find them at Dispo Dispensary for 25% off. Out online at www.gloriouscanna.com. That website again, www.gloriouscanna.com.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Yeah, Abby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then, she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Calling all landscapers. How would you like to landscape like a legend or with a legend? Register for your chance for 4-time Stanley Cup winner Darren McCarty to work your crew for a day. That's right, D-Mac on your zero-turn, weed whipping, edging for your favorite client. Sign up today, OutdoorEquipCo.com. OutdoorEquipCo.com, your power, equipment, playground. Braylon going to join us at 3:15. Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the program, Woodward Sports Network. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button for us. Subscribe to Woodward Sports. I went, by the way, Maz, over the weekend, I went on a little shopping spree.
We did.
On the woodwardsports.com merch shop. I got a lot of different new items, and I'm wearing one of them today.
I like it.
The old WSN. Woodward Sports. I love our gear.
Looks nice on you.
Our gear, I'm pretty particular about how, because I got dad bod.
Yeah, me too.
I
got fat dad bod.
Yeah, probably.
So it's tougher on me. Yeah, it is what it is.
So, I like the way the clothes fit me. It's very good, and they're very affordable stuff.
I'm glad I could entertain the house here.
Right. We got Kool-Aid in the house. Parker is here.
Adam Morency's in the house.
Adam Morency is here. And is there anybody back there getting a haircut?
Right,
nobody back there.
Right
Show
now.
the Maz camera. Nobody back there right now.
I need
nobody
my
back
pillow.
there. Oh, yeah. Is that a pillow on that seat,
That's
Maz?
a pillow.
So Braylon coming up 15 minutes from now. Maz, let's continue to go around the NFL.
We talked about Washington beat Arizona. That's where we left you. Here's the one, guys. Tampa Bay beat Minnesota 20-17.
I told you.
Mayfield, 2 touchdowns. Kirk Cousins, 2 touchdowns, but a late pick. Justin Jefferson caught 9 for 150, but he caught 2 in the second half, and he was pissed, by the way. Let's take you into that Tampa Bay locker room, Parker, where Baker Mayfield, Todd Bowles, and the rest of that team was celebrating yesterday in Minnesota.
Hey, one word describes this game. Let's go! Hey, that's a hell of a start, guys. Hell of a win on the road against a hell of a tough team. We got one down, we got a lot to go. We know we can get better, but we fought our asses off. I'm proud of you. Let's pack up and go home. Hey, it ain't about how you start, it's how you finish. Defense, hell of a job. Trace, good kick, man. Yes, sir. Bucks on 3. 1, 2, 3. Bucks!
Courtesy of Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Twitter.
For him. I'm rooting for the Bucks.
Hey, that's the happiest I've ever seen Todd Bowles.
I was just gonna say that.
He don't say much.
I watched this game from start to finish. I don't think I've ever seen Todd Bowles have any emotion in my life.
No.
He's just not my kind of guy.
Me neither.
Not my kind of. There's no emotion. Totally blank.
Failed in New York.
That's the first time I've ever seen him smile.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've ever seen him show any emotion whatsoever. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. And it sounds like he's got a little L.A. Knight in him. L.A. Knight, yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean?
How about Baker?
He played well enough to win the football game.
He beat a team on the road in a tough building.
I think it was a 3rd and 7 or something like that. Where
At the end of the game,
he hit Godwin on the sideline,
yeah,
and Godwin
put it away.
Godwin made a hell of a catch.
He did.
The catch was better than the throw, but the throw got there.
Yep.
And put it away to end the game. And I'll tell you what, Maz, Bucks have a chance to go 2-0. They play Chicago at home this week. Never in a million years would I thought the Bucks would have gone 2-0, but they did. Guys, Lions pregame show, Woodward Sports Live pregame show returns for another season of Lions football. Join Chef Iafredi with weekly special guest hosts. This week, it's yours truly. Woodward Sports YouTube channel, Sunday mornings 9:30 to 11:30. Lions pregame show all season long right here on Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Let me get back to the Minnesota Vikings for a second if I could.
They're 0-1 in one-score games.
Thank you. I don't like the Vikings this year. They lost 7 starters. I think they got worse. At all 7 positions,
They did.
I think they got worse than the guy that was in that spot last year.
Facts.
And at home against a bad Tampa Bay team, what we believe is a bad Tampa Bay team.
Playoffs last year, but snuck
different.
in. Snuck in.
As an 8-9 division champion, I think they were.
Correct. Blown out by Dallas.
Exactly. For Minnesota to lose that game, I think up-down theory in the NFL, we're going to learn a lot about the Vikings this week, Thursday night at Philadelphia. I wouldn't count Minnesota out.
If you remember last year, Philly blew their doors off.
Yeah, I don't. This is what Minnesota is going to be this year. I said I don't think they win more than 8 games. And I don't think they win more than 8 games.
I don't think I could argue with you.
Yeah. You know, last year, 11-0 in one-score games. This year, 0-1 in one-score games. I do not like Minnesota at all this year.
Let's get you to a team that I think you used to like, at least. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars. You did pick the Colts, though.
I did pick the Colts. I still like the Jags.
Colts were 5-0 against Jacksonville in Indy. Jacksonville scored late. A bunch of touchdowns late. 31-21, they beat the Colts. Anthony Richardson, he's going to be a player, guys. I've told you from the get-go, I'm sticking with this one. You guys are going to be apologizing to me for this one. Apologize. He did get hurt late in the game. Gardner Minshew had to come in and mop up. Trevor Lawrence, a couple touchdowns for him. Travis Etienne with the game-winning touchdown.
Did you hear what Trevor Lawrence told Anthony Richardson after the game? I really liked that.
Really cool.
Kind of brought me a little bit. I've never been a Trevor Lawrence guy.
I don't know why.
Not at Clemson. I just don't like him.
He's a good guy.
Look, he's fine. In sports, as a sports fan, you love guys, you hate guys.
Yeah, you're right.
You love teams, you hate teams. For like buddies, like Gazzo tells Rocky in Rocky 1. Some guys, they just hate for no reason.
Correct.
I cannot tell you why I hate Trevor Lawrence. I just don't like him. Okay? I don't know why. And I'm sure he's a fine person.
He is.
I'm sure he's a good guy. I just don't like him.
Married his high school sweetheart.
I just don't like him. And it's fine. And I'm okay with it.
So tell everyone what he did.
He went up to Anthony Richardson after the game, told him he's going to have a great career, but protect yourself. Learn how to protect yourself because the hits in this league add up a whole hell of a lot more than the hits in college.
Yep. And he took a late hit in that game that he shouldn't have taken, but he's that kind of player.
Thought that was pretty classy of Trevor Lawrence to do that.
How about the New Orleans Saints? Bunch of field goals in this one. They beat Tennessee 16-15. Derek Carr, 305, a touchdown. Chris Olave caught 8 for 112. Tannehill, 3 picks. Where's Malik Willis?
Yeah, you go 0-2, you bring in Willis, right? I mean, that's really what it is.
And then, of course, you know who's waiting in the wings, Mr. Mayo
He
from
was
Kentucky.
not activated.
No,
he was not activated. But again, here's another problem. Ryan Tannehill doesn't play in the preseason. You know, I really think that affects these guys. And are you willing to throw a game or two before you get your legs under you in order to stay healthy? It's a question that I think all teams really have to ask themselves, and how far is too far into the season before you get going.
And then tonight you got Aaron Rodgers, who played 2 series in the preseason against Josh Allen. Yeah, at least he got out there. But another one-score game, another one-point game. The Raiders beat Denver 17-14. 16. Jimmy G, 2 touchdowns. He's just a winner. He hits Jacoby Myers for both of those. Russell Wilson threw for 2 scores as well. But the Raiders get the win in this one. Here's the game of the year already. It's going to be tough to beat this one. Miami 36, the Chargers 34. Listen to these numbers. Tua Tagovailoa throws for 466 yards, 3 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill catches 11 for 215 and 2 touchdowns. Austin Eckler 117 yards on the ground and a score. And Miami, they're good.
Again, one of those games, just like Chicago and Green Bay. I don't know if this is more about Miami or more about the Chargers. They blow another game.
That's Brandon Staley.
And Brandon Staley, who is on the hottest of hot seats, can't hold a fourth quarter lead again.
Can't lose that game.
It just seems like every time they have a chance to win a game, they do something to lose it. And I don't know how much longer they're going to allow that to happen there.
How about the Rams? Ryan's surprise team. Matthew Stafford, a great day for him. They beat Seattle 30-13. Seattle gets beat up in this game, guys. Kenneth Walker played. He wasn't very good. But Geno Smith was running for his life. I want to take you to a play. Let's go to Geno Smith. Listen up carefully. With Aaron Donald bearing down on Geno. Listen to him screaming something.
On third down, Smith, pressure comes late, and it's incomplete. That pressure coming from Aaron Donald.
Did you hear him? Oh, my God.
That is almost like, Maz, that is reminiscent of Sam Darnold saying, I see ghosts out there.
Yep.
I don't think Geno Smith will ever live that down. Oh my God.
Yeah. God. Running for his life.
Oh, my God.
Seattle lost 2 offensive linemen, guys, 2 starters that might not play on Sunday when they're here at Ford Field against the Lions and Aiden Hutchinson. Look out, man.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, thanks, Parker. I appreciate you, buddy. Parker working hard behind the scenes here. I just want to acknowledge that. Again, up-down theory NFL for me, man. These teams that look terrible in week 2 come back. They look great in week 1, week 2. You know what I'm trying to say.
I got you.
It's very
Matthew Stafford
very
throws for 334. Kieran Williams, 2 touchdowns on the ground for him. Philly beat the Patriots 25-20, but they were holding on for dear life at the end of that game. The Patriots probably should have won this game. Jalen Hurts, 207 yards and a touchdown. Mac Jones, 3 scores. Kendrick Bourne, 2 touchdowns for Kendrick Bourne. The Patriots are better than a lot of people think they are, so watch out for them. Green Bay beats the Chicago Bears 38-20.
I would just say that the only problem with the Patriots that I have is I think Mac Jones, although a good quarterback, is probably the worst quarterback in the division.
Well, yeah.
Is that fair?
I would say so.
So it's just hard to kind of give them any legs this season.
Yeah, they have a hard chance. They have a hard road to try to get into the playoffs, but they are better than they were last year. I'll tell you that. Green Bay, they beat Chicago 38-20. Jordan Love, he looked good, man. 256, 3 touchdowns. Romeo Doubs, 2 touchdowns. Justin Fields, 275 and a score. But the Packers looked very good, and they win on the road at Soldier Field.
I thought yesterday was a must-win game for the Chicago Bears.
I got suckered. I picked them, and you know I'm a Packer guy.
Yeah, a must-win for Chicago in week 1. You say, why is that? Well, you're playing at home in year 3 of Justin Fields against a division opponent that isn't, not too many people expecting anything out of Green Bay this year with a first-year quarterback. First time he's ever started in 4 years or whatever. You got to win that football game. And they got blown out.
They were never in it. Yep, they were never in it.
Looked very foolish. Chicago, they might not win more than 4 games again this year if that's how they're going to play this season.
We'll
Green Bay looks like a clear number 2 now in the NFC North.
Agreed.
Green Bay looks like a
Agreed.
clear number 2 now in the NFC North. That Thursday night game at Green Bay, Week 4, just looks like it got a whole lot harder.
It's a big one.
Absolutely.
Last game of the night last night, unbelievable blowout. The Cowboys in the worst rout in the history of that series. They beat the Giants 40-0. Wait till you hear these defensive stats. It all started with the Giants with a great drive to start the game. They go down, kept the ball about 8 minutes. They go for a field goal. Graham Gano gets it blocked. Dallas ran it back for a score, and it was over. Listen to these defensive numbers. 7 sacks for the Cowboys, 2 interceptions, 5 forced fumbles, a pick 6, and a blocked field goal for a touchdown.
40-0. Do you know that those things have never happened to one team in an NFL season before last night? All of those things, every stat you just gave, never happened to an NFL team in an entire season. And it all happened to the Giants in one game.
It was a disgusting game. It was pouring rain. Poor Daniel Jones was just running for his life. And why they had him in the game in the fourth quarter is beyond me. And how Brian Dable, Coach of the Year last year, did not have his team ready after that blocked field goal for a touchdown. You got to stop it right then and there. And they just never showed up after that. Or are the Cowboys that good?
You know what's so interesting, too, is if you look at the best teams in the NFC, Philadelphia won on the road. Dallas won on the road. 49ers won on the road. Detroit won on the road.
Nice.
And maybe even Green Bay.
Nice.
Won on the road.
Nice.
You know, I mean, think about that.
That's a good one.
Guys, we'll take a break. When we come back, Braylon Edwards going to join us from New York. But first, a message from Swiss.
Ushers in college and professional football, and this year is gonna be awesome. Fall is also a perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance. Shop it like a pro with Swiss Insurance. They cover Woodward Sports Network, and they should be covering you too. Ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today at swissins.com or call 248-800-4177. Swiss Insurance, they're looking out for you.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
Burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. Try our new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. Turn up the heat with Bob's Hot Chicken Sandwich. Upgrade those regular fries with our chili cheese fries or loaded baked potato fries. Hit your sweet tooth with funnel cake fries or Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake. Load up on all your favorites today at Big Boy.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Five Iron Golf, downtown's newest sports bar, has 13 TrackMan simulators, certified instructors, and most importantly, a full bar and restaurant. Five Iron Leagues are back and debuting today. Compete nationwide for a chance to win a trip to the Dominican Republic. Bring a foursome or sign up as an individual to be placed on that team at 5irongolf.com. Use code Woodward10 for 30% off the league. That is 5irongolf.com. Come sign up. 5-Iron Golf. Play, party, and practice.
Hey guys, welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. If you are watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button, and of course, subscribe to Woodward Sports. Tell a friend about Woodward Sports Network. We think we have and will provide the best Lions NFL coverage throughout the season, and we invite you to come along with us. It's going to be a fun season, and of course, the Lions and Seahawks on Sunday. It's going to be Bedlam.
You know what the spread is?
Downtown. Yeah, it's that vaunted number,
It's
isn't
the
it?
bad number.
Yeah, it's the bad number. The bad number I refer to is 5.5. Usually 5.5 is
upset.
Like anytime the numbers, if I don't know, I've been a gambler before in my life, 5.5 is like the kiss of death.
It is.
For
Let's hope it moves. It will.
Yeah, let's hope it moves.
It better not stay at 5.5.
Right. Let's hope it moves. Absolutely.
It's going to be the loudest that Ford Field has ever been.
Since louder than that Monday night game against the Chicago Bears, in which in the first half there were 5 offside
That's right.
penalties by
That's
the
right.
Bears. I was in the building that
Me
night.
too.
And, I mean, really incredible. I cannot wait till Sunday. And, you know, I'll be down there for the pregame for Fox 2
Good for
at
you.
Eastern Market. I'll be down there for the pregame for Woodward Sports. Jeff Iafrate going to be leading the way for us here on that. Man, it's just going to be an incredible atmosphere downtown. And you know how last year I said you just feel cheated of so many moments because the Lions lost football games at really inopportune times that would have made that playoff run last year feel a lot bigger than it actually was. You know, they lost on Thanksgiving. They lost to the Panthers. It just you felt cheated. This week is one of those weeks now you can feel excited instead of feeling a little bit anxious.
Yep. You get Seattle off a really bad game, which
you do.
I really don't like because Pete Carroll's going to get them ready to play. And if you remember, they came in here last year, albeit we were down some players, and they scored 48 points.
I think it was 48 to 45,
something like that. T.J. Hawkinson had his best day as a pro that day, but we came up just a little bit short. You win that game, and then you don't need Seattle to lose to the Rams at the end of that year to get in the playoffs.
Right.
So this is a big game. I circled this game. The minute it came out, I said they're not losing this game. And then the freaking bookmakers make a 5.5-point spread.
Well,
to
that's
stick
just
it to
now.
me.
We'll see if
I
it
know.
moves. And again, that's really no indication. That's really no indication. I mean, it's just one of those weird things that as a gambler you notice. That's why I always.
It's a bad number.
It is. So you got to hone in a little bit more if you're Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions. You got to practice a little harder. You got to do a little bit more film study. You gotta just be ready for anything.
They'll be ready.
Shelby Rice says, I see it at 6 right now, so
Okay,
hopefully
good.
it goes up.
All right. Or it goes down to 5 or 4.5. That's
Right.
fine with me.
Right.
Just not 5.5. You got Monday Night Football tonight, guys. Monday Night Football, let me tell you something. Now, you guys, you're probably too young, but it was the cat's meow back in the day. Monday Night Football, every single bar in town would be packed for Monday Night Football. Bud Light, Miller Lite, they'd all send all these packages to restaurants. I used to run a bar back in my day, back in Jersey and New York. And it had everything. You had the ticker tape, the string up, all the pennants of the teams, blow-ups, everywhere. Now, it's just another game. And I don't like it that way. I wish Monday Night Football was bigger. They really let Sunday Night Football kind of take it over. When Monday Night Football is the only game in town to watch this game. And guess what? Joe Buck and Troy Aikman do it tonight. For the 22nd year they are together, that is the longest combo of any broadcast team, passing my favorite of all time, Pat Summerall and John Madden, who had 21.
That's incredible. I didn't realize that. And what a milestone for those two, Joe
Hell
Buck
yeah.
and Troy Aikman. And I do like I think Joe Buck calls a beautiful game.
He does.
There was a time in the first half of his career where I do think he was a little bit boring. I do think,
Well, it's to everyone's, to each his own.
Exactly.
I never thought he was, but I get it.
But he has, over the second half of his career, over the last 15 years or so, become really the gold standard, I think.
He is.
In the business.
No doubt. Well, Kevin
Amongst
Burkhardt is amazing.
any network calling football or even baseball for that matter. And
I
they
love
should
him
probably
doing
let him call baseball on
no,
ESPN.
Well, no question about that. So tonight, you got the Jets and the Bills on 9/11. There's going to be a lot of pageantry at Giant Stadium, at the Meadowlands, at MetLife, which they call it now. Earlier in the week, a couple days ago, they got to talk to Aaron Rodgers and ask him about playing this game and if he's nervous.
No, I mean, I'm going to be good. I'm going to be excited. Be excited to be out there with the crowd, see the crowd out there early, hopefully. Get all the jitters out of the way probably in pregame and go out and just try and execute.
What's the number on this game? Do you know?
I don't even know.
It's got to be
Hold on.
Jets probably are favored by 3, I would think. Just
Buffalo by 2.
Buffalo by 2. Okay.
Yeah. On the road.
What do you think of that?
I don't think of it. I don't, because you have absolutely no idea what to expect.
No.
You have no idea what to expect.
The Jets have been built as this super team. And we all know super teams usually don't work. I know it worked in hockey with the Red Wings, but in football, it usually does not work. When you load up a team and say, oh, I got this guy, this guy, this guy, it doesn't work. But the Jets really do not have a weakness on this team. It is the most talented team. Rex Ryan came out and said it's definitely the most talented Jets team he's ever come across, and he coached a bunch of good ones, too, for the AFC title with Braylon.
The Jets feel like a little bit like the 2004 Lakers to me.
There you go. That's a good call.
Shaq and Kobe, Karl Malone and Gary Payton.
Yep.
Feels like a little bit of that. I don't.
We took care of them.
Aaron Rodgers is a different cat, though, man.
He is.
I mean, by all accounts, by all reports, you see it through Hard Knocks. He has the ability to throw that football pretty damn accurately and down the field. And they've got some really talented receivers there, and it starts really with Garrett Wilson. They've got Alan Lazard. They've got Randall Cobb. He feels comfortable with some of these guys. I do think this is going to work. Now, are they going to beat the Buffalo Bills in the opener? Both these teams have Super Bowl aspirations. I'm not sure.
They play them tough every year. These
Absolutely.
two teams go at it, division rivals. But what happened last night at Giant Stadium, at MetLife Stadium, it scared the living daylights out of me. That's how bad the Giants played. I just don't like the aura of that stadium right now.
Right.
It sounds weird, but if the Jets go and get whitewashed tonight, wow. I mean, New York would be up in arms. That's all I got to say.
Guys, let me take a break. When we come back, we'll try to track down Braylon, see if he is available to join us. If not, we'll continue on, get in some college football. Michigan and Michigan State played over the weekend. We'll get to that in a big game.
Texas played, too.
Absolutely. Big game at night, Texas and Alabama. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts and have been for over 90 years. When you see this black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing: stay out. Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 professional monitoring. Make sure what is important to you, stay safe. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Stay out.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests, for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. So register today at OutdoorEquipCo.com, and even you could have DMAC on your landscaping crew.
Guys, it's an important week for this. Wondering where the best tailgate is? That's easy. Eastern Market, the official Detroit Lions tailgate party at Shed 5 in Eastern Market. Woodward Sports will be broadcasting live for every home game. 3-star Michelin buffet featuring Chef Aaron May. VIP parking and even tickets if you need them. How do you sign up? Well, it's easy. Just go to bullseyeeventgroup.com. Bullseyeeventgroup.com. Tailgate like a VIP.
Oh, yeah. Hey, did you get a chance to see any of the pageantry for the Patriots and Tom Brady Day?
I didn't see that.
You did not see?
I didn't see it.
Well, they brought him back yesterday. I have a video of him running on the field. He took his jacket off, and he had his Patriots jersey on.
Really?
And this is what he did for every home game. He would run down the field for the pregame. So he did that in the beginning of the game before they even announced anybody coming in.
Do you have the video for it?
I do have the video for it.
Let's play it.
Let's hear it. This is what it looks like. And then they had a nice, I don't know, about 6 to 7 minute speeches and all of that at halftime, which was nice. We'll play that tomorrow for you. But Robert Kraft came out and said, we're going to waive the usual, I think it's a 10-year wait period or 4-year wait period.
4-year wait period.
4-year wait period to put him into Patriot Hall of Fame, which, was a joke to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going into Hall of Fame next year.
I thought the NFL should do that, actually.
Put him into Hall of Fame.
Yes.
That's what I originally thought.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I like that. Yeah.
I thought the NFL should absolutely waive the weight restriction, the wait time restriction. I believe that's 5 years. I believe they should have waived, just like the NHL, the Hockey Hall of Fame, waived it for Wayne Gretzky. I believe Tom Brady earned that. I think he's the greatest football player ever to live.
Then what do you do for they didn't do it for Peyton Manning.
Well, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady had 2 Hall of Fame careers. If you just break up 23 seasons into the first 11 and the last 12, or the first 12 and the last 11, those are just those 2 breakups alone. No player in the history of football has ever essentially had 2 10-year Hall of Fame careers.
Yeah, I can't argue. I really can't argue. As much as I've disliked him and didn't root for him because he was a Patriot. Mm-hmm. That's my bad. My loss, just like Larry Bird, my loss. Yeah, that's a guy that he should stand alone, no doubt.
Without question. I really believe that.
Did you see what happened with the Browns as well yesterday?
No.
Jack Conklin.
Oh, gosh.
He destroys his knee. MCL, ACL. He is out for the year. So that's a bad blow for Cleveland. And, of course, Deshaun Watson. Jack Conklin, obviously, former Michigan State standout. So that's a lot of injuries yesterday.
Because they don't play football anymore.
There it is.
They don't hit. They don't practice. They don't play. They just play on the games. And they practice a couple of times throughout the preseason. How many times do you think the Detroit Lions have hit? I'll just take the Lions, for instance, throughout the 4-week preseason. Probably 10 times.
Well, he's got him hit. Remember last year in Hard Knocks?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
In 4 weeks, you probably hit 10 times.
I would say so.
And back in the day, you'd hit 2 times a day.
Easy.
In 2 days.
And they'd be in those buckets of ice at the end of the day.
Exactly. Not saying it's good, bad, or indifferent. I'm just saying that's a major factor for all of these injuries. They don't hit anymore.
I got some Bill Belichick news for you.
I'd love to hear it.
Did you guys know that Bill Belichick and his longtime girlfriend have broken up? Yes. This is not TMZ, but Linda Holliday and Bill Belichick have broken up. The Patriots brass is nervous about what she's going to say and do on social media about Bill Belichick. So I don't know what kind of relationship they had.
What's this guy doing?
I don't know what Bill Belichick is doing, but he's doing something. And the brass of the Patriots are a little bit nervous.
What are they like? I am so intrigued by this
too.
story. I don't know why.
I can't wait to hear something.
I don't know why I'm intrigued by this story, but what could it possibly be? I don't even have a. Is he like into like all kinds of different sex parties or something like that? Does he
might be.
Like, you know, I mean, does he like to kind of sit? Well, I don't even want to.
Does he have a press conference for his sex? You know,
right.
does he have his girlfriend talking to him like a reporter?
Does he? I mean,
Yeah,
I could go down a long road right
We
now. Like
have
sit
no
there and
idea.
watch or something like that. I don't.
We have no idea
I don't
what
know,
he's about to
man.
do.
Jeez, it's terrible.
Now, that takes me to my favorite coach of all time, next to Vince Lombardi. Actually, he's ahead of Vince Lombardi.
Mm-hmm.
It's Bill Parcells, and the mentor, of course, of Dan Campbell, the mentor, of course, of Sean Payton, and many others. The mentor of Bill Belichick. They work together. Did you know that Bill Parcells loaned $4 million of his own money to 20 former Giant players, mostly on defense?
3.5 went to Lawrence Taylor.
Probably. Probably. But isn't that...
That's awesome.
Isn't that
Yeah.
something?
That's great.
That's my guy, man.
It really is great when you hear something like that. You know, I mean...
I just loved Bill Parcells.
Because of all the blood, sweat, and tears that went into helping Bill Parcells achieve his goals and his contracts and his money and all that stuff.
Did you ever see the 30 for 30 called The Two Bills?
Yes,
it's
it was really
Belichick
good.
and Bill Parcells.
It's one of the best
It's well
ones.
worth you guys
Yeah.
watching it if you're interested in that. But Bill Parcells, hats off to you, my friend.
Absolutely.
Hall of Famer.
No doubt. Guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I do want to get into some college football.
You do?
I do. I would like to, if
There's
that's
Pat
okay.
McAfee news, too.
Oh, gosh. Maz, you got it all today.
I do.
All right. We'll sit tight. But first, a message from Big Boy.
Oh, that's me. That's right.
you,
Big
Maz.
Boy burgers and chicken
Follow the
sandwiches taking over at Big Boy. It's burger time. Try the best cheeseburger or the new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. If you're craving chicken, how about that Dolly chicken sandwich? Or if you like your chicken a little spicy, go with Bob's hot chicken sandwich. That's the one. You upgrade your fries, of course. You want the chili cheese fries or the loaded baked potato fries and desserts. You know it. It's the strawberry pie I always tell you about, or the Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake. And they also have the funnel cake fries. It all sounds great at Big Boy.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
You're a good coach, Tim. Oh, great shot.
Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports, and some, well, not so much.
Good. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, shit. Go in.
Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
At the Academy of Warren, they have a brand new state-of-the-art sports dome field house with a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field. Also can be used for 7-on-7 football, K-8 that features AM and PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, and K-8 athletics. The Academy of Warren is now accepting new enrollment, so go to the academyofwarren.net. That website again, academyofwarren.net.
about that? Woodward Sports Network, Ryan Ermanni and Tom Mazaway. Braylon is in New York tonight in New Jersey. Sorry, Maz.
It's all right, buddy.
For the Jets and the Bills Monday Night Football game. Nobody in the Maz chair today. That's okay. It is a Monday.
I need that pillow, though.
Oh, you want the pillow? Yeah.
I miss it.
You should put the pillow on your back. Do you sit on the pillow or do you have it on your back?
I have one for the back and one I sit on to lift me up a little.
That's right.
Because you know, in that kind of chair, you sink down a little bit.
You don't want to sink down on
You don't
it.
want to sink.
No, absolutely.
You know, especially
you don't want to sink.
Me, I really don't want to sink.
Again, guys, I know I said Braylon was going to join us. I don't know if he is or if he's not. You never know what's going on over there in New York. So we'll just, if we get him, great. If not, we'll try to talk to him tomorrow.
That's fine, buddy.
Maz?
Well, he's going to be in tomorrow.
Oh, he is in tomorrow?
Yeah.
Well, if what happened to him, if what happens to him tomorrow, like happened to him on Friday or Saturday.
That's not good.
It was miserable. Saturday, Braylon's supposed to have a 1 o'clock flight to New York. He's on the plane, on the tarmac, for hours.
Yep.
They deplane, say the weather's too bad. Deplane will get you scheduled out tonight. So they make him wait at the airport till 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock comes. Flight canceled. We'll see you tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he met who?
And he met Matt Millen there.
Matt Millen.
Who was doing the Michigan State game.
Isn't that great?
Isn't that something?
I loved it. He sent us a picture, and Matt said hi.
That's right. Hey, you mentioned you had some Pat McAfee news.
I do. Have you seen the Pat McAfee show yet on ESPN?
Listen.
I know.
I'm not into it.
I know.
I'm not into it.
But he is on ESPN now.
I understand that. And I saw him on College Game Day this weekend, and I saw him on College Game Day last weekend. It's fine. It doesn't do much for me.
Okay.
Do the people out there, are you guys McAfee guys? I mean,
there's a lot of guys that think he kind of sold out and don't like him as much anymore.
Maybe that's why.
But do you know that ESPN is now running his show on a delay?
I did see that.
Yes. Which you knew had to happen because they got to watch the curse
swearing,
words.
right?
Yeah. You got to watch the cussing. And did you see who is going to be his guests once a week on a Tuesday? Again, here it is.
We should make the announcement right now. You know, whenever it first started, people thought to themselves, what is this hacky BS? Because nobody wants to hear from a quarterback all year long on Tuesday. Literally nobody else had really done it. And then season 1 is a smashing success.
Yep. Smashing.
That MVP winner for the quarterback. Season 2, guess what? Smashing success.
Yeah.
Another MVP. Season 3, okay, had a thing.
A little bit.
Had a thing. But now season 4 in a new home, Aaron Rodgers Tuesday is back, baby. All right, go to your practice. We appreciate the hell out of you. We can't wait to chat with you on Tuesday. Good luck this season.
Thank you, buddy. I can't wait to be with all you guys. I will not be censoring myself. So if you got to go over, watch it at different places, I will be the same old. And I look forward to speaking with all of you in the near future. Who's on the set? I miss my boys. Who we got there?
So we got Darius
we got
here.
everybody.
Darius is here. Tone's
DB.
here. Ty's here. Connor's wearing an alien shirt.
Yep.
First.
So there you have it. Aaron Rodgers is going to be back. Also, Nick Saban is going to join him weekly as well. And what a week for Nick Saban to really make his McAfee appearance debut, a week in which they lose to Texas this week. That was a shocker.
How good does Quinn Ewers look?
Look, I will always admit when I'm wrong. Quinn Ewers looks like the absolute real deal.
Yep.
I have mocked this kid. I have made fun of him. I've made fun of the haircut. He did shave.
He cleaned himself up.
He did clean up, but he was the first $1 million player in NIL.
Correct.
He goes to Ohio State. C.J. Stroud beats him out. He goes to Texas. He goes to Texas and plays it. He looks terrible. He looks like he can't play.
And who recruits?
Arch Manning goes to Texas. So you're like, okay, Arch Manning, Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers wins the job. He's the quarterback. And boy, does he throw a nice deep ball.
You bet.
It was
Rainbow.
That was a beautiful game to watch.
It was.
Texas play. And I am happy for Texas. College football is better to me when some of these blue bloods are good. And again, it just goes to show you, I don't believe if you play a tough schedule in conference, like in Alabama, I don't think you should schedule these games like Texas. You shouldn't. Now, Alabama is one loss away from being completely eliminated. I think LSU is eliminated because
not yet.
I don't think you lose by 3 touchdowns to Florida State and then all of a sudden you're going to go run the table in the SEC. Alabama, could they run the table in the SEC? I believe they have a little bit better shot to win it. Top 25 poll is out. No change at the top. Georgia, Michigan 1-2.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying 1-2. Florida State is at 3. Then Texas comes in at 4. Ohio State has dropped. USC 5. Ohio State, Penn State, Washington. Washington going to be at Michigan State
Penn
this week.
State laid a beating on poor Delaware, and Ohio State eked by Youngstown State. Youngstown State was hanging in that game.
Yep.
But, again.
Parker, you tell me you have Braylon? I'm sorry.
It's just this crappy games at the beginning of the year. Wait till you see this week of college football. It is god-awful.
Okay, guys, let me do this since we have Braylon. Can I just take one final break right here, and then we'll go to the rest of the show with Braylon? Okay. Let me tell you about the Lions post-game show.
That's me.
Woodward Sports' Tom Mazaway going to be hosting the Lions post-game show after every Lions home game, after every Lions game all season long. Tune in to Woodward Sports' YouTube channel for his hot off-the-press takes, his game analysis, and his Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. No, he's not drinking Kool-Aid over here, not Brandon. Just real Kool-Aid. You won't want to miss it. Maz and special guests each week directly following every Lions game exclusively on the YouTube channel. Guys, we're going to talk to Braylon next. We'll finish out the rest of the show with him, but let me tell you about Fairway Packing Company.
Oh, look at you.
For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, casinos, prime beef, Wagyu beef, dry-aged beef. Experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. If you can't visit the steak shop, go ahead and order online. Fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com. Source, cut, age, packed to perfection.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot off the press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Hey, gang, what happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did. Added Les Stanford Buick GMC offers the same great service that customers have come to know and trust. So located in Ferndale on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. And, of course, looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac? Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today on Michigan Avenue. You can find the brand you want under one umbrella. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them. Hey, let's bring him in fresh.
Baby.
There he is. He's got the buffs on. He's got the shirt on. Braylon Edwards, the better half of the Ermanni and Edwards show from New Jersey. How you doing, Bray?
Lies. You guys are definitely the better half. I'm doing good, man. Same. You know what's crazy is It's the same energy here in New York that it was in Detroit on Wednesday night, on Thursday night. Getting excited about knowing what Detroit was, getting excited about the Kansas City Chiefs and being a real player in the NFL. Actually, almost being a player where you believe they're going to go to the NFC Championship. Same energies here in AFC and New York Jets. Everybody's excited. They believe that last year, if they just had a quarterback, that they would have been able to be in the playoffs and maybe do some damage. Well, guess what? They didn't just get a quarterback. They got one of the quarterbacks. So energy is good, man. I'm feeling good.
Hey, Bray, did they clean up that mess at MetLife Stadium, get the NY out of the center field and get Giants out of the end zone? Because they just took a dump in that stadium, and now the poor Jets got to play there.
Yeah, you talking about from the Dallas game last night? Yeah, it was ugly this morning, and they actually got there early to make sure that they could get that field back in tip-top shape for tonight's game. So it will be in tip-top shape, but they had to do a lot of work, man. That's actually a really good question.
Hey, Bray, what are you? Oh, look at that! What are your responsibilities tonight? Now, what do you do?
Responsibilities, man, is to watch the Jets beat the Buffalo Bills' ass. No, real talk, man. Just go to the game, enjoy it. I was downstairs in the lobby earlier. Benny Testaverde and some of the other Jet alums hang out, relax and chill, kind of tailgate, if you will. And then the only thing I really have to do is at halftime, they have me going down to one of the suites of one of the longest tenured suite owners, if you will. So I'm going down there to hang out with them at halftime and maybe a little bit of the third quarter. Outside of that, man, I'm just in the city to have fun, man.
Hold up that Edwards 17 once more. Let the people see. Let the people see.
You know what time it is. You know what time it is. Garrett Wilson may be the number 17, and he's going to be the best 17 there is. But until he does that, oh, man, still 17 Edwards, baby. You see the retro shoes on, Ryan?
Oh.
You see what I'm rocking with the jersey?
Oh, man.
Oh.
Wow.
I took it back. Old school 80s. I know Maz appreciates you.
You know I want that helmet, Bray. You know I want that helmet.
Hey, man, I'm working on it.
Hey, Bray, Bray, I want to get into it with you in the time remaining that we have. Your reaction to the story of the weekend locally here, really, and that's Mel Tucker. I mean, I think we were all kind of shocked to hear what was going on at Michigan State, and then the press conference yesterday where they announced a suspension.
This is New York Jets green and white, not Michigan State green and white, just for those out there. No, it's very interesting. It's very shocking. I reserve judgment. Like I was telling you guys, I reserve judgment so I get all the details. But I just find it very, very, very suspicious that, they pay Mel Tucker 10 years, $95 million, which, Ryan, I owe you a debt of understanding because you called it from jump. Like, what? They're paying him what? For how long? And blah, blah, blah. You're absolutely correct. But when you suck, the program sucks. The players aren't getting better. Your best players are transferring. They are so ashamed of themselves for paying Mel Tucker, who I know well, $95 million over 10 years. I just question the timing of it. Because if this would have came out last year, Ryan and Maz, all right, last year it comes out, they suck, but this comes out. I'm not thinking twice. But now all of a sudden that Michigan State is 2-0. They're no longer the dumpster fire. They're still not a good team. But right now they're 2-0. It's stability there if you want to fire someone and bring somebody in. It looks, it looks like a program you might want to come to. So I got to get all the information. I got to get all the facts. But I just find it really, really, really suspicious that all of a sudden Mel Tucker's terrible record up there at Michigan State, they're not winning the games the way in which they want him to. Now the Michigan State alumni.
Dang, and I think we just lost Bray, but he's back with us tomorrow. If he pops back up there, Tucker, let us know. Or Tucker. Parker.
First of all, don't call me Tucker. I'm ready to don't call me Tucker. No, Brian.
And he's back.
So I'll sum it up. Basically, it's suspicious. I just want to get all my information. I want to get all the the due diligence, all the information. Because I just find it like last year this could have came out and he could have got fired and all that. But now, why now? You always got to ask questions. Why now? So that's my question. Why now?
No doubt. We'll get more in depth into that when you get back in studio. I just wanted you to have the opportunity to kind of share your hot off the press take of that. Tell the people about your experience at the airport on Saturday.
What is it with me traveling all of a sudden in the last year and a half, 2 years?
Sadly, it's not just you.
Every time I travel, I got a new story for you, whether it's Philadelphia, whether it's D.C., whether it's LaGuardia, whether it's trying to get to Newark. So Saturday, got to the airport at 12:20, got on the plane at 1:35, supposed to take off at 2:09. We taxied out, and we were in position 2 to take off around like 2:10, around that time. We waited in that position, Ryan, Ermanni, and Tom Mazaway. What's up, JB and Parker? We waited in that position until 3:50, then taxied back to the gate. Then we deplaned, and we're told that, hey, at 7 o'clock, decisions will be made. So then at 7, they moved it to 7:30. 7:30, they moved it to 8:30. At 8:30, they said, we'll see you tomorrow at 7 a.m. I am legitimately walking out of the airport, Ryan and Maz. I am about to hand my valet ticket to the valet parking at DTW. I'm about to hand them this, and I get an alert on my phone. The alert on my phone says flight's not leaving at 9:10 p.m. I got to run back across the gate, go through TSA, man. go back to A6 just for them to tell me it's now back at 7 a.m.
Oh.
I'm like, I'm like, what are we doing? Then the ticket agent says, hey, wait, because we might have some different information. So just, stay around, if you will. Stay for 15 minutes just to be told that the flight is indeed canceled. And I had to come back to the airport. So left the airport like 9.
Can't travel anymore. Can't travel anymore.
I'm trying to tell you, man. Like,
it's crazy,
time,
man.
Like,
it's crazy.
Did you get anything out of it? Did they take care of the passengers?
No, they didn't do nothing. They said, see you tomorrow.
No. So they gave me a $15 non-alcohol beverage usable voucher. Oh, man.
A whole $15?
I was like, are you going to give me back the $180 I spent at the airport for being there for 8 hours? I was mad as hell. But Delta did come through. I did receive an email this morning. They gave me $150 credit.
Not enough.
I'm sure that'll go towards your next $750 flight to Florida.
Hey, you did get to meet.
And there it is.
You did get to meet one of my guys.
But you know what, though? But you know what? The fact that Delta did something, I'm cool, because it was an air traffic control situation. So technically, Delta doesn't have to do anything. So you know what, Ryan?
Good for you.
I'm gonna take the 165. I'm gonna take a page out of Ryan Ermanni's book. I'm gonna take the 165. I'm not gonna complain, and I'm gonna watch the Jets beat up on the Bills tonight.
Amen to that.
And you got to meet Matt Millen.
I already know Matt Millen. Matt and my dad have known each other for years. I knew Matt. Matt told me he was gonna draft me. That was the first thing I said to him when I saw him. I was like, I'm still mad at you. You told me that you were gonna package. You told me you were gonna package 27 and 10 to come get me at number 3. But it was good to see Matt. Matt's always got great energy. He was I think he was commentating the Michigan State game.
Yep.
I asked him nothing about the Lions because I just felt like the Lions in such a great space, and he was 0-16. And I was like, I'm just not even going.
Oh man, that's great.
Son of a gun.
I
was just going to get to the good part.
Well, yeah, it cut out at an appropriate time. And, there he is. Hey, Bray, say goodbye to the people. Hey, you know what, Bray? While you're there, close us out.
All right, yo, you know what time it is. I gave you all the energy last week on Thursday for the Detroit Lions. Well, you know I'm a Jet. So go Jets. I'll be at the game. I'll send you guys some pictures. It's going to be fun. I'm on a 9:28 a.m. flight tomorrow, so I will be at work tomorrow so we can talk about what happens tonight. Yo, man, I can't wait to see you guys. Guess what? Go Jets. The Lions got their win. Now it's time for me to drink some green Kool-Aid.
Jets, Jets. Yes. All right, Bray, have fun
safe,
my man.
See you guys later, baby.
See you, man.
We'll see you tomorrow.
See you guys.